السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله صلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا إلى يوم الدين وبعد. Today's story, inshallah, is a reflection upon an ayat that are very important with the story, the second story of the Quran, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, واتبعوا ما تتلو الشياطين على ملك سليمان وما كفر سليمان ولكن الشياطين كفروا يعلمون الناس السحر وما أنزل على الملكين ببابل هاروت وماروت. This ayah number 102 in Surah Al-Baqarah, is very important for a few reasons. Number one, the story itself that is revealed to. My fan is outside. الباب افتح الدرايفر. افتح الدرايفر. See where my part? افتح الباب on the door. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَاتَّبَعُوا مَا تَتْلُو الشَّيَاطِينُ عَلَى مُلْكِ سُلَيْمَانَ. They follow what the shayateen has recited upon the throne of Sulaiman alayhi salam. Brian, close the doors. وَمَا كَفَرَ سُلَيْمَانُ وَلَكِنَّ الشَّيَاطِينَ كَفَرُوا, confirming that Sulaiman alayhi salam did not disbelieve in Allah, but the shayateen disbelieved in Allah, teaching men magic and such things that came down to Babylon, which is a place in Iraq, to the two angels, Harut and Marut. But neither of these two angels taught anyone such a thing till they had said, we are for trial, so do not disbelieve in Allah and do not learn magic. And then the rest goes on. There is a problem with the tafsir here, that they chose this opinion, but I will, inshallah, give you a different opinion that that is considered to be much better. At the time of Sulaiman alayhi salam, very briefly, Sulaiman alayhi salam was controlling the jinn and the shayateen, and he used to speak to animals. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him these tools that when Sulaiman died, they brought his dhikr books, the adhkar, where he wrote his adhkar in it, and the shayateen took these books and they filled it with magic words and terminologies in between the adhkar. So they, for example, Sulaiman alayhi salam would read a specific dhikr, they would add something under it. He reads a verse, they add something under it. He reads a verse, they add something on it. And then when Sulaiman alayhi salam died, people used to claim that the jinn knew the future. Okay, and the jinn knew the unseen till Sulaiman alayhi salam died. So they figured out his death by him falling off his stick, where he was leaning on in prayers, and he was standing there for a long period of time. So when they found that out, they knew that the jinn has no power. So for the jinn to bring in back the power after Sulaiman, because he locked them out, so for them to bring this power, they wanted to give it a reliable source. So what did they say to the people? قالوا هذه كتب سليمان عليه السلام التي كان يسخرنا بها. They said these are the books that Sulaiman used to use as tools to control us with. And they came up with these books of magics. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَاتَّبَعُوا مَا تَتْلُو الشَّيَاطِينُ عَلَى مُلْكِ سُلَيْمَانَ. They followed what the shayateen has recited upon the throne of Sulaiman, those books. وَمَا كَفَرَ سُلَيْمَانَ. So the act of magic in itself is haram, as forbidden act in all religions. And Sulaiman, he did not disbelieve in Allah, but the shayateen did. And that's why you have the ring, they call it the Sulaimani ring. You have the Sulaimani script. Okay? All of these are fabrication. All of these are fake. All of these are evil that the shayateen have came up with. So they will convince people to use this magic. قال وما كفر سليمان ولكن الشياطين كفروا يعلمون الناس السحر. The shayateen, the reason they disbelieve is that they were teaching people magic. وما أنزل على الملكين. هنا وما أنزل على الملكين الراجح أنها نافية. It is a negation, not an affirmation. I know a lot of the tafsir mention, even the translation says, and what came down upon the two angels, Harut and Marut. Harut and Marut, there is a difference of opinion on who they are. The most false, not reliable, not correct story is that they were two angels who spoke with Allah about hoping for desires. So they said, what's the problem if we drink alcohol? What's the problem if this desire is built in to fall into fornication? So Allah sent them down to earth where they drank alcohol, they had fornication with an older woman, and this woman was a magician, a witch, and then later on she became one of the stars. All of this is fabricated. This is not true. All this story, no way. Why? Because we know that the angels don't fall into that. لا يعصون الله ما أمرهم ويفعلون ما يؤمرون. The angels are free of all sins, mistakes, false doing, okay? And this is not their behaviors. This is not their characteristic. This is not what they are built upon. Rasulullah said, خُلِقَتِ الْمَلَائِكَةُ مِن نُور. Nur is light, and light has all purity in it. The other opinion that these are two angels that Allah wanted to send them down to test people. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does what He wills or what He wishes. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tests whom He wills, however He wills. Okay? So He tests them down He sent them down to earth so they could be a test for people. So what were they doing? They were teaching magic, and they were telling people that this knowledge does exist. This is not something that Sulaiman had. This is not something that Allah has given, to a special person to gain. All of what the shayateen are saying is not true. This is actually knowledge like every knowledge on earth. There are knowledge that are beneficial, and there are other knowledge that are not beneficial. Okay? You could learn how to make a weapon. Okay? Is that beneficial? Well, it depends on how you use it. Okay? If you're going to use it to kill somebody, to cause destruction, then this is a knowledge that don't benefit. So Allah is trying to teach that this is a knowledge out there. It does exist. Okay? People have it. It has rulings. It has fundamentals. It has foundations. And magic, and that's why a lot of time you see these things in movies and other, they are not actually, they're not there, with no reason. They are meant to be in the way that they're giving and planted in our children's mind. Like in one of the famous movie of Cinderella, okay? The old witch, when she wanted to change Cinderella, she mentioned the sentence. Anybody remember what is it? We need to install that there. Yeah? Banana, huh? Anybody know? What did she say? No, seriously. Why not? La, before that, she said abracadabra. Yeah? Nobody knows? Okay. What's the other one? No, seriously, say it. What do you mean you don't know? You just said it. She's like, I don't know. He just said it right now. I'm not asking you to I'm not going to tell people you're a magician. Don't worry. I'm just asking you, what is it? What is it that you're saying? Do you understand it? But do you know it? So say it. Here you go. That is written word by word in the books of magic. Seriously, I looked personally. I have a lot of experience in that field. I have looked into the books of magic, some of the main fundamental books of magic, like Shams al-Ma'arif. Shams al-Ma'arif, not the one online right now. I have seen it with magicians, real magicians, not fake palm readers and all of that. I have met magicians they were considered to be one of the top on earth. And I've seen some of the books, a'udhu billah, these books are, just reading in them, you'll go through a lot of tough time. I went through 2 years, hardest part of my life. Used to see things and crazy stuff that was happening. Because I just read these books just to see what do these people do. It's knowledge, it's fundamentals. They set rules. You have to read a certain verse or a certain wording few times in a certain way for something to happen. So when they say these in movies, abracadabra, and all that, they mess it around a little bit just to change the meaning. But these are mentioned abracadabra, letter by letter in the books of magic. Of course, she said it in her own way, just that it doesn't cause harm. So this is what's being produced out there. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent these angels for that reason, to show people that this is knowledge right here, will teach you, but this is not right to do. I personally don't believe that. Okay? I used to believe that. But I think the ayat could be looked at differently now. Allah said, قال ولكن الشياطين كفروا يعلمون الناس السحر وما أنزل على الملكين. ما in the Arabic language could mean two meanings: affirmation and negation. I believe here it's negation. Why? Because the Jews at the time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they came to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and they told him, who is this angel that you claim that comes down to you with a message? So he said, Jibreel. So they said, oh, he is a magician. So they claim that Jibreel and Mikael are both magicians, and they both play with words, and they copy words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and change it to cause this magic reflection. So they're saying everything you're going through, Muhammad, is because of their wording, their effect upon you. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَلَكِنَّ الشَّيَاطِينَ كَفَرُوا يُعَلِّمُونَ النَّاسَ السِّحْرَ وَمَا أُنزِلَ عَلَى الْمَلَكَيْنِ. Al-Malakain is referring to the two angels, Jibreel and Mikael alayhim as-salam, that Allah is saying, وَمَا أُنزِلَ, that these books are not even revealed to the angels, who is Jibreel and Mikael. So the differentiation here, طب who's Harut and Marut then? Because Allah said, بِبَابِلَ هَارُوتَ وَمَارُوتَ. Babil is called Babylon in English, which is a small city in Iraq that still exists till today. It was known to be the most knowledgeable city on earth of magic. And there were two people in it, well known, either jinn or human beings. Their name was Harut and Marut. These two people were very knowledgeable of magic, but they used it to teach people that it's wrong. So they said, قال الله عز وجل وما أنزل على الملكين ببابل هاروت وماروت وما يعلمان من أحد حتى يقول إنما نحن فتنة فلا تكفر. Wherever they teach people something, they used to tell them, we are a trial of Allah, so do not disbelieve in Allah and follow and act upon knowledge. So what do people learn from knowledge? From magic? Only harmful. That's why Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam called as-sab'u al-mubiqat. He called it the seven destruction in Islam. Ash-shirku billah, to have a partner with Allah. That's worst of actions. Number two, as-sihr, magic. Magic is a spirit effect upon the soul and the body and the mind. And that's why, to understand magic, think of it as mental health issues. Almost the same behaviors, same symptoms, same diagnosis of both. Bipolar disorder, depression, anxiety, schizophrenia, everything that is related to that field is like what happens in magic. And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forbid it. Why? He said, because يَتَعَلَّمُونَ مِنْهُمَا مَا يُفَرِّقُونَ بِهِ بَيْنَ الْمَرْءِ وَزَوْجِهِ. First thing that they learn is to differentiate or to separate between a man and his wife. A lot of the cases I personally witness is related to that. Husband and wife problems, house issues. People are not getting along well. They were going fine. Families going into trouble, sickness, illness. All of this because of that. And that's why Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam did not just forbid the act itself. He forbid those who goes to that act, does it, believe it, or even out of curiosity. قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم من أتى عرافا أو كاهنا. This, brothers and sisters, applies to us today when we are at malls or outside. Those palm readers. Yeah, Rasulullah said, whoever visited a person who's a fortune teller, okay, من أتى عرافا أو كاهنا فلم يصدق. He doesn't believe him out of curiosity. Same thing, this applies to horoscope. So if anybody reads the horoscope, this hadith applies to him. What did Rasulullah say? You're reading it, but you don't believe it. Out of curiosity, his salah is not accepted for 40 days. لا تقبل له صلاة 40 يوم. So you have to pray 40 days, knowing that your salah is not accepted. حتى just going there is haram. طيب فمن صدقه, if someone believe in what they tell them, فقد كفر بما أنزل على محمد. He disbelieved in what Allah has revealed to Muhammad, which is the Quran. So in both cases, visiting a fortune teller or being a fortune teller is haram. Looking into the voodoo that you guys play online with, okay? Looking into magic websites, looking into those acts. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made Harut and Marut as that test. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made them as a fitna. Fitna of what? To teach us not to learn such a knowledge because its benefit is harm. The shaitan sets his throne above water every day, as Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said in the hadith. And the shaitan comes and he gather all the shayateen. The first shaitan will come. يقول ماذا فعلت? What did you do? The shaitan will say to Iblis, okay, he's giving him the report. He'll say, I made so and so commit a crime. يقول لا لست أنت, not you, go. Another shaitan will come. يقول, what did you do? He said, I made such a person, steal something. يقول, no, not you. What did you do? I made such a person commit killing. No, not you. What do you do? I made such a person commit zina. No, not you. Till a shaitan will come and says, I separated between a husband and his wife. The shaitan will say, you are the one that I'm looking for. Come here. And he will, Rasulullah said that, and he will sit him next to him on the throne. فَيَقُولُ أَنْتَ الَّذِي أُرِيد. You are the one that I'm looking for. Out of all these problems, yes. That's why family ties. And that's why people who commit the act of Harut and Marut, or the knowledge that Allah sent through magic, Allah forbid it because it leads to what? It leads to يفرقون به بين المرء وزوجه وما هم بضارين به من أحد إلا بإذن الله. And they will not harm anyone except by the will of Allah. So you have to understand that part. This is the last part, we'll end with it. That magic is out there, magicians are out there, they're still going to exist till the day of judgment. They cause harm to people. There is, we believe in magic, we believe in the effect of it. But Allah said, وَمَا هُمْ بِضَرِّينَ بِهِ مِنْ أَحَدٍ إِلَّا بِإِذْنِ اللَّهِ. You have to believe that part, that nothing will harm you, regardless of their power, except by the will of Allah. So even if someone is able to harm you, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's cure is stronger than their harm. The Quran is a cure. And that's why if anybody want to test if they are afflicted with magic, just a gift tonight. I hope nobody does that and come to me, because if you come to me, I don't have time. But if you read this surah upon a person who's afflicted with magic, they cannot handle it. No way. If a person is afflicted with magic, pure magic, and they read وَاتَّبَعُوا مَا تَتْلُو الشَّيَاطِينَ, or somebody puts their hand and read this full ayah, 102 in Surah Al-Baqarah, on the person few times, and this person is sitting down normal, is looking at you, smiling, or is talking to you normal, then this person is free of magic. Khalas. Even if he claims, oh, somebody did magic, no way. This ayah is the most effective ayah in Surah Al-Baqarah upon the shayateen that are regarding magic. If there are shayateen other than that, that's a different story. So protection is important. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala leads to that protection, and the best of protection is Surah Al-Baqarah, the surah that we're discussing, Ayatul Kursi, this ayah, the verses after Ayatul Kursi, the last 3 verses. Rasulullah said, whoever says the 4 qul when he leaves his house is protected. When you say Bismillah alladhi la yadurru ma'a ismihi shay'un fil ardi wa la fis sama', you're protected. Bismillah tawakkaltu ala Allah wa la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah, you're protected. When you say the adhkar in the morning, you're protected. When you say La ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lahu lahul mulku wa lahul hamdu ala kulli shay'in qadir 100 times, Rasulullah said he will not be afflicted by poison or magic for the rest of the day. So we have more protection than harm. But the problem is we're stuck with our mind into the harm, and we let the shayateen rule us and overrule us. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Inna kayda shaytani kana da'ifa. The shaitan is plotting is very weak, but the stronger we become in faith, in belief, in holding on to our adhkar and the deen, in doing righteous action, the weaker the shaitan becomes. The weaker we become, the stronger that the shaitan comes. قال فبعزتك لأغوينهم أجمعين إلا عبادك منهم المخلصين. Shaitan made it clear from day one. I will run them and control them and override them, except those who are righteous. The more you become righteous and add onto your good actions, the less that you defeat, the more that you defeat the shaitan. And the opposite is true. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect our hearts. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keep us guided and protected. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us among those who are saved from the plotting and the planning of the shayateen. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us among those who are under the protection of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala day and night. We seek the power and the help of Allah in all our matters. Allahumma ameen wa sallallahu ala nabiyyina Muhammad walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.